Okay, so we are live now. Good evening, everyone. We welcome you all for today's webinar. Today's webinar is organized by IETE, Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, Student Forum, Department of Electronics Communication Engineering, Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research, Indore. IETE is India's leading recognized professional society devoted to the advancement of science, technology, electronics, telecommunication, and information technology. Founded in 1953, it serves more than 70,000 plus members through 60 plus sub-centers. The institution provides leadership in scientific and technical areas of direct importance to the national development and economy. The IETE focuses on advancement of electronics and telecommunication technology. It conducts and sponsors technical meetings, conferences, symposiums, webinars, and exhibitions all over India, publishes technical and research journals, and provides continuing education as well as career advancement opportunities to its members. Title of today's webinar is Career Options and Opportunities for Electronics and Communication Engineering by Mr. Devanshu Upadhyay. Now, I would like to invite Professor Swapna Pillai Ma'am, Faculty Coordinator, Electronics and Communication Department, to introduce our speaker, Mr. Devanshu Upadhyay.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you, Anjali. A very good evening to all. I warmly welcome our alumni to this online event. Devanshu took admission in Acropolis in the year 2011 in the Electronics and Communication Engineering branch. I still remember Devanshu as a very sincere student. Even though he was not a topper of his class, but he was a very sharp student who was very regular in the classes also. After completing his engineering, he joined the Colorado State University for masters. He is currently working as a senior application developer in a non-profit healthcare organization in New York, and he also worked in different construction and financial domains as well. As a teacher, it is always a great feeling to see our students achieving success in their lives. We are very happy for you, and we are also happy that you are with us today. I once again welcome Devanshu and I invite him for today's speech.
Appreciate it. And welcome everyone. This is most likely going to be an informal question and answer session. So if you guys have anything related to career opportunities, feel free to ask those questions. And as ma'am introduced me, like I took admission in Acropolis in 2011, did my Bachelor of Engineering, Electronics and Communication. Um, kind of an average student, got passed barely, but then did some work in a startup company in Indore itself. Um, got a really good opportunity to implement an SAP, that is like an enterprise resource and planning system. And from there, I started working on my master's degree and kind of currently working as an application developer. So, um, just like as an electronics engineer, I mean, we can understand that there are several opportunities where you will have to kind of work towards making sure that how how our knowledge is kind of helping our community, right? So just with electronics, it's kind of feel like half knowledge. So right now in the industry, like we need to be aware of that. With just electronics, we need to be a little bit more about learning towards IT knowledge as well, right? So at this point, I mean, I'm kind of open for any questions, and feel free to ask them. Um, hey, Anjali. All right. So I got a question about share my experience for applying postgrad abroad. Yeah. So once you complete your 4 year graduation, your bachelor degree, most common entrance exam is GRE, to qualify for US universities, but then you can do TOEFL for Canadian universities and Australian universities. Um, Basically, the exam consists of English and aptitude reasoning, like how you're preparing for your job interviews, almost same to that. So the more you score, the better university you get. And most of the times, like universities don't matter as such, but basically your understanding of what you want to really study about. Hopefully that answered your question. Yeah. So there is a website called ETS. Basically, I got a question about give some tips on how to apply and what to look after. So application wise, it's pretty straightforward, right? You go to a website, register for your GRE exam preparation. Like most of the people kind of study like 3 months or 6 months before their exam. It's basic English and then aptitude, right? And then you apply to this ETS website, create your account, and um, kind of register for that exam, right? I think nowadays their location is like worldwide, so you can just kind of give exam on your from your home city. But about what you want to study, right? First, you need to determine like what is my primary skill, right? I'm studied electronics and communication, but then after I decided that I want to lean towards more towards IT. So that's why I did Master of Computer Information Systems here, right? But once you find out what you really want to do, then based on your scorecard, you can kind of categorize different universities and then kind of look into their curriculum. Um, Most of us here do masters in IT and then engineering as well. There are tons of universities who provide engineering in electronics and communication. There is a pretty good market as well. So once you identify which university you want to study, and then it's all about uh, how you prepare yourself for the job market.
Sir, we have a question. Sir, why electronics and communication field is been underestimated comparing to CSE stream?
It's not underestimated. Every field has its own path, right? I mean, without electronics, I don't think anyone can survive, right? So most like lot of company what I feel is electronics and communication is pretty hard, right? And there is very little scope for failure. So once you have a hardware, then only on top of it you can write any software on it, right? So I don't think it is underestimated. It's about finding your right balance. Most of the people in electronics, especially in India, I feel like there is a lot of opportunities for IT, and then that's why they kind of lean towards it. But if you come abroad, there is equal opportunity for all streams. I mean, if you develop your primary skills, you are gonna get a lot of opportunities.
Sir, among IELTS and TOEFL, which exam is more preferable for study abroad?
Both of them. So TOEFL is more like getting admissions into US universities, and IELTS is for like Canadian and Australian universities. So whichever country you wanna go, I mean, you can take that exam.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, can an average student also get admission in abroad universities?
Of course, there is nothing like average or topper student. I mean, it's more about your composure, right? That exam is like a basic English and reasoning exam, right? So once you get it and cracking that, it's I don't think like it's pretty straightforward, right? So anyone can get into very high, nice universities. It's just about the Ivy League universities, which are like top 10 universities in US. They kind of look for your overall profile. So, for example, if you have published any paper in your bachelor's, or if you have any certificates, have you done any graduate assistantship or anything to help community? So that overall profile helps them to identify you as a good candidate, and those high top universities basically look into that. I mean, CGPA matters, but not that much. I mean, well, if you look into your big picture, um, anyone can get into any universities.
Hmm. Sir, could you please share your journey when you were in Acropolis College?
Yeah, of course. 2011 came from small town. Indore was pretty exciting for me to join. Actually, Swapna ma'am was my one of the. I think in second year she started teaching me, and Mukti ma'am as well. So I mean, I know them for like a long time now, and it's been privileged studying in Acropolis. Um, During that time, I mean, we have a lot of pretty cool seniors, and we used to hang around all the time. And I mean, our classes were fun. So it's just started, and all of my semesters like pretty straightforward. So everyone helped everyone, and then we kind of passed all those semesters. Like in seventh semester, I was like, I can't study anymore, and this is it. Somehow we kind of managed and passed it.
Sir, here is a question. Sir, why electronics and sorry, what skills should we develop to become competent and industry ready?
That is a pretty nice question. So uh, I guess it's more about identifying yourself, right? I, when I was like in bachelor's and sixth, seventh semester, I kind of identified that IT is my field, that this is what I want to do. So similarly, you have to identify your primary skill. And once you identify your primary skill, for example, Python, right? Python, pretty popular programming language, right? So once that is, if that's your primary skill, then on top of it, you have to build your secondary skills, right? So just by Python, you cannot do anything, right? What people love about candidates is people who look at big picture, right? So for example, not just learn one language, but learn how to publish an app. So if you know that, then you probably then people can understand that okay, you have been through full life cycle of that application development, just not just writing a code, but basically gone through requirement gathering, designing that application, and then on top of it, you build that application, deployed that application, and multiple users are kind of using it. So those kind of skills people are looking for, not just like one skill, but build secondary skills around it, right? And then of course presentation and how you talk about any of your how you describe your skill matters, right? So I guess right now it's more about identifying yourself, and then you can get prepared for the industry.
Sir, what are the, could you please tell the opportunity of electronic students in abroad?
Yeah. So lot of electronic companies are kind of headquarters is in US, right? So uh, basically, if for opportunities in abroad, most of the people come through by a master's degree. So once you get your master's degree, then you get your work visa, and then you apply for different companies, right? So there is tons of opportunities in electronics. One of the most popular thing I think right now going on is IoT, right, and 5G, right? So you guys in a pretty nice position. mm, a very nice technology has been introduced right now, and kind of take advantage of that, right? Build your skills around new technologies, and kind of develop your core skills, right? So right now, I mean, I think Qualcomm, any big companies are hiring graduate students. So it's more about getting into the industry and abroad, like with your master's degree, and kind of get that exposure where companies comes to you and hire you, right? And the other path is basically work in a company their headquarters are in abroad, and then from there that you can get transferred to US or Canada.
Sir, here is a question. Do you feel online courses can help us upgrade our skills?
Hey, sorry about that.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is a question for you. Do you feel online courses can help us upgrade our skills?
Yeah, of course. I mean, most of the things that I learned is through online courses, right? uh, and I think it's also about like finding the right uh, balance of in-house courses and online courses. I feel like there's a pretty nice community out there, right? uh, so many resources. I think Udemy is like one of the leading resource. I mean, if you take their courses, they any technology like within 10 or 12 hours you can learn that, right? Not just technology, basically they have courses for everything. So certainly online courses help. And then it also gives you an understanding of overall skill set, right? So yep, go ahead for online courses, they're good. And also on top of it, I mean, I feel like there are professional certifications that you can do, right? It's right now you guys are in what, second and third year of engineering. Like start looking for what your favorite field is, right? So for example, if you like customer management system, right, go for Salesforce certification. It's just do some online courses, prepare for it, and give that exam. um it will certainly help you guys.
Sir, what are the basic steps? Means from where we should start to get placed? From where we
Yeah.
should start developing? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so not sure right now how Acropolis is providing opportunities. When I was there, I mean, there were so many companies coming to hire electronics students. So basically, start with your written exam, right? Once you qualify that, if you do not qualify that, there is no more, right? So start preparing for that. Get, get your discussion skills correct, and on top of it, select your favorite subjects, right? My favorite subject was electronic device and communication, so I really liked that subject, so I kind of learned that and talked about it. And basically recruiters are looking for, they are not looking for any specific skills, right? Like they will not ask you a direct question like how do you write a calculator program, right? They are looking for how you can respond to a certain scenarios, right? So prepare yourself for situation based questions, right? like uh, like when was the last time you developed a code and how did it help the community, right? Something like that. So prepare yourself for scenario based questions, and then if you Google online, right, top 10 questions, you will find tons of resources. So um, I guess it's more about standing out away from the crowd, like make yourself unique, right? Get those certifications, get those online courses, and that will stand you out.
And so, while giving an interview, what are the basic skills one should have, and what are the things they should keep in mind while giving an interview for the placement?
So yeah, I think it's more about being confident on what you're saying, and it is okay to take a pause and think about your answer when somebody asks you a question. So it's more about presenting yourself, be confident, and study before, right? Learn about the company. What are they doing from like 2 years? What are their popular projects? What kind of tools they are using? And kind of take the conversation of that interview where you feel comfortable. For example, like just for example, my favorite subject was electronic devices, right? So if somebody is asking me some certain question, I want to be able to divert that conversation into what I know better, right? And once they start asking questions about the things that I know, I will be more confident of answering those questions, right? So try to learn, like when somebody asks you questions, how you divert those questions to the things that you know, and that will certainly help you. And on top of it, I mean, of course, learn your favorite one or two subject. And even if you tell interviewer that if there is a question that you don't know, right, try answering those questions in a way that it doesn't offend them, but still it present yourself as, okay, this guy doesn't know this, but okay, he has done something in this stream, so he will probably be able, if we teach this person, he will probably be able to work on this field. So kind of learn about that.
Sir, could you please share your journey and the challenges you have faced during your abroad visit?
Yeah, of course. Challenges wise, there were not such challenges. I feel like I've been blessed with pretty nice people around me. So once I did my bachelor, got admission to this Colorado State University, right, master's program, and I was fortunate that I got day one graduate assistantship, and half of my tuition was waived. And the major reason was did I did work for like an year in a startup in India, so they kind of take that pretty well, right? So they waived half of my tuition and they gave me a graduate assistantship. So money wise, I think I was all set, and all I had to do is just study, right? So first 6 months I partied a lot. I didn't study much, but after that I kind of focused myself in getting those online courses, as you guys said, right, and those certifications, and kind of completed master's degree. And then there are so many opportunities. I mean, once you get your basics right, there are companies will look for you. I mean, here the way it works is company comes to your university and then they select you. Okay, I want, and then you have so many paths to take forward, right? Application development, core CS development, electronics. So after that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And once you get your first job, and then it's more about getting that right working visa and kind of get that stability. So challenges as such, not many, but again, the study is pretty hard. You have to be very focused on, once you decide, only do masters if you feel that you want to do it. I mean, most of the people come here and think like, okay, I just want to come here and enjoy, but it's the study is pretty hard. So you have to be aware that these are my subjects and this is the curriculum that I'm gonna study before coming here, right? And prepare yourself. So that 1 year of startup job kind of helped me prepare for masters, and after that it was straightforward.
Yes, sir. Sir, here is a question for you. Uh, which engineering subjects are important for placement?
All of them. Mo- it Yeah, again, it's about yourself, right? You need to tell interviewer that these are the top two subject or top three subject I feel more comfortable with, right? um they are not gonna ask you specific questions like, okay, in this electromagnetic theory, what is what comes in chapter 2? I mean, they're not going to ask any specific questions, but you have to tell them about your interest, right? Usually interview starts uh, with introductions, right? So at that point you can mention that these are my favorite subjects, and I will be more comfortable talking about these subjects, and then you can drive your interview yourself. Don't depend on interviewing, right? Talk in a way that you are taking an interview, not you're giving an interview. That would really help you guys. So subject wise, I mean, it's up to you. If you are asking like what were my favorite subjects, I talked about electronic devices, right? Other one was um computer science, right? I like computer science, C++, those subjects. I think this was in first semester, right? Are you guys still having computer courses in first semester or
Yes,
maybe
sir.
second semester? Yeah. So I
First
like those
semester.
courses. Yeah.
Sir, here's another question. Is higher studies the only option for students to grab a job in US?
No, it's not an only option. So, for example, actually, we are so fortunate that most of the IT services company are in India, right? For example, TCS. You can join TCS, show them that what you can do, and lot of people, like, not just in like pretty quick time, like 2 years and 3 years, they get chances to work abroad. Lot of my friends actually worked with different IT companies in India and even in electronics company and got chances in abroad. So it's not an only option, but it's a little bit easier option to come abroad.
Sir, could you please tell us about your current job work?
Yeah, currently I'm kind of leading a team of a few consultants, offshore testing team in India, and kind of uh, business analyst here in a non-profit organization in Health First. We are like New York's largest Medicare and Medicaid insurance provider, right? It's like it's an insurance company, right? You provide insurance, and then people get treated in different hospitals. So my responsibility is basically take care of their enterprise content management system. So what that system does is any it brings digitalization, right? Digital transformation. So any business processes which involves document, right? For example, you purchase an online ticket, right? And then there is a receipt out of it. So where does that receipt go? So the system that I kind of take lead on basically manages those raw document, and then kind of business processes, right? Approval system, those things. So those are like my regular job duties. Other than that, I have actually worked in 2 or 3 different companies in US, so pretty good understanding of different domains. My previous job was in a financial services company, right? And before that, I was in a construction company. So once my skill set is basically can be applied to different domains. So that's how I wanted my skill set to be, right? But you guys have opportunity to learn whatever you like, right? And then there are so many opportunities. So I think that's about it.
Sir, here's a question. For electronics and communication field, where we should apply for internship?
Internship. Yeah, I think in Indore only there are so many companies giving internship, right? So I think I did my internship in mm, it was so long. I think in Akashvani I did, right? There is some there is Akashvani or some kind of telecommunication. company in Indore where we did internship. So most of the companies, like if you just walk in and kind of talk about that, these are my interests. Do you have any opportunities? They will let you work on an internship, right? So maybe just do some online research. Lot of website, especially due to during pandemic, they are providing online internship opportunities, right? So just Google top 10 IT company or top 10 ECE company in Indore, and then you'll find so many companies, and then just apply for it. I mean, don't be shy. Don't be shy if you are getting rejections. I mean, rejection is a part of journey. I mean, for my first job in US, I still remember like I applied more than 500 companies, and like only 3 and 4 companies replies, and that is how usually it works here, right? There are so much competition, but again, it's more about finding that right combination of your skills, and then you will get opportunities. So don't get disheartened and just keep applying, and there are so many good things ahead.
Sir, as the IT sector company, IT in IT field, there are many career opportunities. Do we have, if we want to go in hardware field, do we have as many as career opportunities as IT field has?
uh, yeah, I mean, there are opportunities, right? I mean, IT, it's the work that how IT works is it requires more people, right? And that's why there are many opportunities. And in hardware also, I mean, there are opportunities, of course, but then again, you will have to find out what you exactly want to do, right? So here also, if you just Google like hardware engineer in LinkedIn, you will find tons of opportunities. So opportunity wise, there are a lot of opportunities, but you have to kind of stand out yourself, right? Learn those secondary skills and kind of stand out of the crowd and kind of grab those opportunities, right?
Sir, do US universities ask for work experience to get admission in university? Do we require to have work experience for masters?
No, no, we do not require to have any work experience, but it's, I guess, I mean, you can do internships, right? It does not have to be like a full-time work experience, like just to get introduced to and like the work environment where you want to work after your master's degree, right? So for me, it was IT, so I kind of took an experience of basics of how IT works, right? And then I did my master's degree, which basically prepared myself that this is what I need to do after my master's degree. So why not I prepare myself right away, right? So it is not required to have experience, but if you do have it, it doesn't hurt, right? And even if you do not have any experience, the way education systems work here is like they work on a real world scenario, and I haven't like took any courses from like 5 6 years back in India, but surely they are also doing the same thing. And then get yourself ready for those opportunities. Hello. Hello. I don't know how long I was talking while I was disconnected.
Yes, sir, you were disconnected.
Yeah. So did I answer your question or I was disconnected all the time?
Sir, you were disconnected.
Okay. Yeah. So the question was about having work experience, right? Before master's degree.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes, sir.
you do not have to have those work experience. I mean, you can do your internship and that count as a work experience, right? And even if you do not have that work experience, the way education system works in abroad is like they prepare you for the real world scenarios. And also I think in India as well, I mean, the way we get introduced to those subjects, those are basically what you're going to do in future, right? So it does not you do not have to have those work experience, but if you have it, it doesn't hurt.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts and your journey with us. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Achit Ladha for vote of thanks.
Of course, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Anjali. Thank you, Anjali. Uh, am I visible? Okay. As it was our topic that it was a webinar on the career options and opportunities in electronics and communication engineering, and we have a quite good questions and we have a good technical answers from our Devanshu sir. So it's like it's a quote of Sir Abraham Lincoln that the best way to predict the future is to create it. Okay, it's the responsibility of electronics and communication engineers to make this world worth living. And why not? As we all know that electronics and communication is the future of India. So we can predict from now that the coming future, the coming era, the coming modern system is is being is will be ruled by electronics and communication engineers. And as like हम लोग बहुत सारी चीजें अपने आसपास देखते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड कम्युनिकेशन से रिलेटेड आईओटी बेस्ड एआई बेस्ड सेंसर बेस्ड एंड अब तो in India Ola has made a taxi which is a air taxi. Okay, so we are so much in technology. And also, as our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi told that initiated an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So we have to make in India, made in India, learn from various countries, but we have to influence it in all over the world. Because and also, so we are done with the questions. Okay, sir, we are having one more question. The question is, do you really like your work or you work? That's why you like it. Okay, that's a good question. Sir, am I audible to you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's a pretty nice question. I'm gonna surprise you and actually gonna say that I really like my work, and I like what I do. But it does not happen like from the first day. I changed like my job 3 times to find out what I really like to do, and now I feel like more comfortable with my job, bro. So, uh, if you do not like your job, you probably should not do it. So keep searching until you find what you really want to do and kind of uh take that role, right? So from for my first 2 3 jobs, I didn't like what I did, but then now found I found right combination of role responsibilities and started liking my work.
Well, that's a spirit of a warrior, electronics warrior. Uh, we are giving 2 more minutes. If any student or anyone have any kind of doubt or any kind of queries or questions, you may ask in the comment section. Then we will proceed with the vote of thanks. If there is any questions, we are giving last 2 minutes for it. Okay, so okay, so as we have completed with our questionnaire and the webinar series, I would like to say that, sir, it's our blessing to have you here. And as alumni of Acropolis, as a student of Acropolis, we are so proud that we are having a insightful session and a webinar with you, and we are sharing a platform with you. It's an honorable for us, and so on the behalf of Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, IIT Student Forum, Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research, I, Archit Ladha, wants to give you a huge word of thanks for being here, and we are so blessed and honored that you are here, and you are like, it's, sir, actually it's our first live stream, and it's our first such kind of big
Mhm.
webinar, and you are here, so it's a big blessing, sir. Thank you so
No, no,
much,
of
sir, for
course,
being
pleasure is
here.
all mine. I mean, I am also doing this kind of webinar for the first time, so but I also you wanna use this opportunity to thank all of you guys, and also wanna convey that you guys can feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever, right? And any questions in regarding your career opportunities or anything, I mean, feel free to ask them. And if I don't know the answer, I'll probably find the right people who can answer those questions. So feel free to connect, and thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I would also thank our HOD of our department, Dr. UBS Chandrawat sir, Professor Mukti Awad ma'am, and Professor Swapna Pillai ma'am for guiding us, and for always giving us the opportunity, young people from second year, third year, first year, for organizing and managing such webinars and helping us, and to share such a platform with a great alumni who is working in an NYC and such big platforms. Devanshu sir, thank you so much once again. Thank you so much.